So with our handsome Mr. K, I wanted to show you guys a couple different ways. I just noticed a couple treats over here. I might as well grab these bad boys for later. So with Mr. K, remember that again, I know we dived into a little bit earlier about some resource guarding. So remember, if there are certain items for right now that are too hard for him, try to keep those out of the environment. So if your dog has a really hard time when you bust out a raw marrow bone or a bully stick or whatever the item might be that he's allowed to have but he's having a hard time with, don't use those quite yet. If, for example, he is able to get a hold of household items that he's not supposed to have and those turn into conflict, I would highly recommend to your best ability, create a puppy or dog-proof zone where he can safely be put somewhere where the environment is safe for him, but then he's unable to practice or rehearse the things you don't want him to get good at. So if, let's say, for example, maybe the kitchen might be the little bubble where he's baby gated off, or maybe he's got an X pen, or maybe he's got a crate. If, for example, and don't mind the train, if, for example, he is having a hard time with something or he's giving you a hard time, it means, again, he's having some confusion from his end versus the dog world compared to the human world. So when it comes to having your babe enjoying an item, notice that he's got a couple little chews, and I put these out on purpose for him, is while he's enjoying those, I would nonchalantly go, toss a little something, and then move out of his bubble. So if this was a really severe case of resource guarding, where the dog even having this and me being nearby turned into some problems, or like, again, the rehearsal of those skills, yes, those little moments where he stops and pauses and looks in my direction, I'm gonna feed him for taking a break from his item. So you'll see that I'm not going directly at him. If it was directly at him, that could be a little overwhelming for a lot of the dogs. So face-to-face approaches are very confrontational. Reaching body parts out to dogs is also a bit spooky. So what I like to do is the treat and retreat. So I toss a little something and I move away. So what I'm teaching him right now is the crazy snack lady, which is, again, my pet name, just kidding, is where I want him to think that me approaching makes the thing even better than it once was. So it also starts to help him realize that when I come to approach, I'm not gonna be taking the item or becoming overwhelming and scary. So remember, our dogs, nice job, cuteness, is our dogs either feel safe or unsafe. So when we are by accident trying to take something away from him that we have deemed dangerous or unappropriate or not appropriate item for him, remember that from his perspective, we're just coming out of nowhere and just trying to take this thing from him. Imagine you were mid-reading or mid-doing something that you deem very normal, and this other thing just comes and swipes the thing from you. You may not find that to be very fun to be near those people or creatures or whatever it might be. So for Mr. Handsome, I might, again, toss a little something and then move away. So this could be a game that you guys every once in a while practice. So remember, when he has something he's allowed to have, it's almost like you're re-topping his ice cream cone with more toppers as he's gobbling them up. So this way, he might then go from here to now I might do a little find it off on the side. I'm not taking the items away. So almost like we practiced earlier with the toy, which was called a flirt pole. As he's playing with one item, ready, find it, I'm making it fun to go from his higher value items, take a little pause, and also move away. Yes, nice job. Oh my goodness, chewing. So as the handsome guy is practicing, he's now thinking, gee, leaving these items is no big deal. Taking a break is not so hard. And when the lady comes nearby, it's not a bad or confrontational or spooky setup. So let's say he grabs something he's not supposed to have. It could be a tissue, it could be your sock. Obviously, to our best ability, we would try to prevent some of those setups, because the more your puppy rehearses something, or adult dog, the better they get at it. So remember, dogs don't grow out of behavior, they tend to grow into behavior. So what I find can be very helpful, so right here I'm gonna do a little jackpot with several snacks for him enjoying that item, is I'm building up value in me being nearby and coming in and out of the bubble as being beneficial versus me coming nearby equals the end of the game or the end of fun. Nice job, sir. So again, we could do a little find it over here. Gorgeous. So he's enjoying his bone. Then we might go, ready? Find it, and get him up and wiggling. So, but let's say, oh no, he grabbed an item that he's not supposed to have. Nice check-in. Good boy. Ready? So right here, I might even feed him for doing a little check-in. We might get a little sitting position if he maybe knows that guy. He may not, which is fine. So right now I'm still just kind of assessing where everybody's at for comfort range and understanding. So Again, I'm not a huge stickler for like obedience. Oh my goodness. It doesn't mean I don't have boundaries or limitations and set up my puppies for success, but I always want to check on the welfare and the feeling behind the dog's behavior first before acquiring new skills like coming when called, loose leash walking, down stays, whatever it might be. Because I always view those skills as almost like learning French or a new language. It's a really great thing to have under your belt, but it's not going to be the life skill that would keep you alive if you learned how to swim. So swimming, for example, is really beneficial because it could keep you alive for another day. Had you never gone swimming and practiced, you may not be able to keep yourself above the water in certain situations. So what is it, Ebba? Okay, I'll be right there. Can you give mommy just 1 second? I'm almost done. So for Mr. Handsome, getting him to start thinking that, again, basic skills are wonderful in the sense of those recalls, loose leash walking, but if his comfort range is not there, so being able to cope and being able to feel safe, those are things we want to work on first. So he's a lovely little gentleman, but a lot of times when we're dealing with resource guarding, it's a moment where how we deal with the setup actually creates the conflict in the first place. So let's say this is an item he's not supposed to have. I might go get his attention and start building up that disengagement from an item has value. So now none of this was confrontational. I could go and then tidy up the no items. And since we've practiced with things he's allowed to have, we can then practice with things later down the road that he maybe wasn't supposed to have. So if the one time you practice letting go of something and you say drop it means I take it from you, what happens the next time you say drop it? He might be like, no thanks, I'd rather frolic away with it. So definitely make sure, nice job, sir, is that we're building value in the releasing of the item, and then it doesn't mean it's the end of the game. You may want to have what I like to call our treat stations, where you have several little snack stations, which could be mostly kibble mixed with other training treats he finds appealing. Obviously, things that would be okay to be unrefrigerated. And you could then have it where maybe he's just off doing his own thing. You shake the treat bag, or you treat the sheet. I can't talk today. Or you treat the treat container and you wiggle it. He might come running for that, or you could say his name, or you could start practicing that little pause of interrupted little kissy noise. And remember, you want to practice skills before you need them. So if the only time you actually ask him for a check-in or the kissy noise is when he's almost about to get into trouble, oh, nice job, then that could be a moment where he starts to think, gee, the only time we do this game is when I'm already having a rough time or failing. So I would on purpose do a little find it, send him away, do a little kissy noise, get him to do a little check-in. So that way becomes a behavior he knows how to do. And then he could apply it. Oh my goodness, nobody's a chewer today. But then we could apply it to the moment we needed when it could be an item he's not supposed to have. So this way he gets to rehearse the dance moves before going up on stage. Ready? So we make it that lovely little sit. He's like, lady, I'm so excited. So I would just ignore any wiggles or jumping, just feed for the good. If you're not loving what he's doing, think, what could I have this handsome guy do instead? Oh, I dropped it. Find it. Or what could we give him to do instead of the behavior we're not a huge fan of? So sometimes it might be giving him things to work on, like pacifiers, that might be beneficial for him to learn how to just kind of relax and veg for a moment while you're doing something else. But remember, I will be sending along a slew of resources to all the family members. If there are any questions or concerns over any of the materials, please check in. But otherwise, the babes did a really great job for their very first day. And then we will keep diving into this further. I know Mr. Hanson, Mr. K will be here for the 3 sessions. The other 2 lovely ladies are just here for the 2. It's just what everybody could do for their schedule for today. I mean, for the session. But check in for questions or concerns. But Mr. Handsome did beautiful with this exchange and with practicing of the grabbing of the item and then relinquishing it. Eventually you will work a drop it or take it as well while you're playing together. So that way letting go is not the end of the game, but also that drop it for down the road of something you shouldn't have is well rehearsed. We can also work with some leave-its with him too, which are going to be items that are always off limits. But there is a video of me practicing some leave-its with a previous doggy day school student too. So feel free to always view other previous students' material because you may find there's goodies on there that you are having trouble with, but they're already available right there at your fingertips. Ready? Find it. He says, I didn't see that one, lady. So there we go. So, but again, guys, super job with the 3 beauties. We'll give them all a little break, and they did splendid.